Our objectives in this lesson are the following. Describe the slope of a line. Determine the slope of a line given 2 points, equation, and graph. And apply the concept of slope in real-life scenarios. But before this, here are the answers and extra problems I gave in our previous lesson. Kindly write your score in the comments section below. Tell me, have you seen this sign on the road before? What does it mean? To help you decide, I'll give you some options. Is it 16% of trucks will come on your way? 16% increase in toll fee for trucks? 16% of fuel will be consumed? 16% gradient on road ahead? Or 16% speed limit is imposed? Which one is correct? The correct answer is letter D. 16% gradient on road ahead. So what is gradient? Gradient refers to the slope or incline of a surface. Slope is the steepness of a line. Let us recall our sign on the road earlier. This means that the road descends at 16% gradient, meaning the elevation drops by 16 meters or feet vertically for every 100 meters or feet horizontally. Let's create an FBD for this. So the vertical change is 16% of the horizontal change. Let's have another one. Let us interpret this sign. The slope of 10% would mean that for every run of 100 units, there is a rise of 10 units. Remember, I mentioned vertical change and horizontal change earlier? The slope is the ratio of the vertical change to the horizontal change. The vertical change is referred to as rise, while the horizontal change is referred to as run. In the formula, slope denoted by m is equal to rise over run. Have you ever wondered why is it denoted by letter M? It is because in French, the word to go up is monter. Have you seen houses like this? Why do you think houses in other countries look like this? It is because during winter time, there is less snow buildup on the roof. By the way, the steepness of the roof is called pitch. In our previous lesson, you have learned about the Cartesian plane. We are going to apply that to determine the pitch of this roof. Let us create a Cartesian plane. I'll consider this point as the origin. I need vertical rise and horizontal run. So from here, going up would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let us say 5 meters. And from here, going here would be 1, 2, 3, 3 meters. Let us recall the formula for slope, rise over run. So we have 5 meters divided by 3 meters. The meters here will simply cancel out. So it means the slope is unitless. So the slope here is simply 5 over 3. Let us talk more about slope when a graph is given. So in here, we are going to determine the slope of this line. And the first step is to pick 2 points on the line. The points need to be where the lines cross so they are integers. They are exact value. So let me choose this point and this one here. Now, step 2, find the rise and run. Again, our formula for slope is rise over run. Let us say I will start in this position and then I will go up. That would be my rise. Let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise is 5 units. Now for the run, from here, going here, let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my run is 4 units. So the slope is 5 over 4. Step 3, Let us determine if our slope is increasing or decreasing. What is the trend? If the slope is positive like this one, then we have an increasing trend. You might ask me, what if I'll start at this point, not in here? Will I arrive at the same answer? Let us see. So again, our formula for slope is rise over run. Let us choose another point. So there will be 2 points. So let me choose again this one. So this time I'll start from here. So I'll be going down and let us count. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Since I went down from what you have learned last time, it should be negative 5. From here, going to this point, let us count. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Since you go to the left, the sign is also negative. Negative divided by negative is positive, so this is just also equal to 5 over 4. Still, the slope is increasing. Let's have another example. I'll choose 2 points. Let me choose this one and this one. Let's recall the formula. Slope is equal to rise over run. I'll start at this point. Going up, that would be 1, 2, 3 units. And then from this point, going here, that would be 1, 2 units. Since it went to the left, that must be negative 2 units. Positive divided by negative is negative, so we have negative 3 over 2. Our slope is negative. The trend of this line is decreasing. Now, let us see if we'll arrive with the same answer if we'll start at this point. Again, our formula is rise over run. Starting here, I'll go down, and that would be 1, 2, 3. Going down, it means negative 3. And then from here, going to the right, that would be 1, 2 units. Negative over positive is negative. So still negative 3 over 2, decreasing. Let's have another one. I'll choose 2 points again. Let me choose this one and this one here. Let's recall our formula, rise over run. But notice that there is no rise. So it means we have 0 for rise. Now, how about for run? If you started from this point, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units. If you started from this point, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But going to the left, so negative 4 units. Either way, 0 divided by any number except 0 will give you 0 as an answer. That is why a man walking horizontally exerts no effort because there is no slope. When slope is equal to 0, it means the line is a horizontal line. Let's have another line, this one. Let me choose 2 points, this one here and this one here. Again, the formula is rise over run. If you'll start here, the rise is 2 units. How about the run? You did not go to the right or to the left. It means this time run is equal to 0. And any number except 0 divided by 0 will be undefined. That is why it is impossible for a man to walk vertically 90 degrees without any harness at all. When the slope is undefined, then you formed a vertical line. Let us try this. Determine the slope of the given graphs and determine the trend. Again, slope is equal to rise over run. So starting from this point, going up, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. So our rise is 7. Now for the run, you can start on this point or you may start here. Then go to the right. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 units for the run. So our slope is 7 over 11. This is positive, so the trend of the line is increasing. Let's have this one. Again, our formula is rise over run. Let me start at this point. Going up, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 units for the rice. I could continue from here. Going to the left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Since it went to the left, that would be negative 5. So positive over negative is negative, so we have negative 8 over 5. Since our slope is negative, then our line is in decreasing trend. Last one, again, our formula is rise over run. Let me start at this point. Going up, that is 1 unit. So for rise, we have 1. And then going to this point here, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. That is going to the right, so positive 7 for the run. 1 over 7, that is positive, so our line has an increasing trend. Now let us determine the slope if we are given 2 points. I'm going to use the same graph that we solved earlier. First, I'm going to determine the coordinates of this point, and this is negative 5, negative 4. While this point here is positive 6, positive 3, 6, comma 3. What I'm going to do next is to determine the change in y and change in x. Change means delta. So I'm going to solve for delta y. That is the change in y. So I'll consider y sub b minus y sub a. Meaning, y sub b, the y coordinate of point B, and y sub a is the y coordinate of point A. So, following the formula, y sub b is 3 minus negative 4. Negative, negative, this will become plus, so 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Notice that the change in y, which is 7, is the same as our rise, which is also 7. Now, let us see if that follows with a run. This time, I need delta x, change in x. So, x coordinate of point B minus the x coordinate of point A. This is point B. The x coordinate is 6 minus x coordinate of point A, negative 5. So, 6 minus negative 5. Again, negative, negative, this will become positive. So 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. And yes, delta x is also the value of our run. So it means another formula for slope is delta y divided by delta x, which is the change in y over the change in x. Now you might ask me, what if I'll make it y sub a minus y sub b and x sub a minus x sub b? Will I arrive with the same answer? Let us see. So let's have delta y, but this time, y coordinate of point A minus y coordinate of point B. So that would be y sub a is negative 4 minus y sub b is 3. Negative 4 minus 3. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Now, how about delta x? Change in x, but this time x sub a minus x sub b. X sub a is the x coordinate of point A, and that is negative 5, minus x coordinate of point B, which is 6. So negative 5 minus 6. Negative 5 minus 6 is negative 11. And negative 7 divided by negative 11 is positive 7 over 11. So it's still the same answer. So this could also be y sub a minus y sub b all over x sub a minus x sub b. So in general, when you want to find the slope given 2 points, let us say first point has coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1, and second point has coordinates x sub 2, y sub 2, the formula is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Or we may interchange y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. So this means it doesn't matter which point you considered as point 1 or point 2. But be careful, you have to be consistent. If you consider first the y-coordinate of the second point in your numerator, then in your denominator, you have to consider first the x-coordinate of point 2 as well. So notice this comes from point 2. This is also from point 2. From point 1, this is also from point 1. From point 1, this is also from point 1. From point 2, this is also from point 2. So let's have another example. Let's make use of our second graph earlier. First, let us determine the coordinates of our point. So point D here is positive 2, negative 3. While point C here is negative 3, positive 5. Let us recall our formula, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I will consider point C as my point 1 and point D as my point 2. So this will be y sub 2. It will be negative 3 minus 5. And then x sub 2 would be 2 minus negative 3. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. Negative negative will become plus, so 2 plus 3 is 5. Negative over positive is negative, so the slope is negative 8 over 5. The same as our answer earlier. Let's have the last one, our third graph earlier. So again, let us determine first the coordinates of the point. So point H here would be positive 4, positive 2, 4 comma 2, while point G is negative 3, positive 1. This time, I'll make use of y sub 1 minus y sub 2 all over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. My first point would be point G, while my second point would be point H. So y sub 1 is 1 minus 2 all over negative 3 minus 4. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Negative over negative is positive. So we have positive 1 over 7. Same answer that we got earlier. At this point, let us determine the slope when we are given an equation. But before that, let us first determine the equations of the three graphs that we had earlier. We can use GeoGebra to determine the equation of a line. So let us create a line that passes through negative 5, negative 4, and 6, positive 3. So the equation of this line is negative 7x plus 11y equals negative 9. Let's put it here. Next one, let us create another line and it passes through negative 3, negative 5, and 2, negative 3. So the equation of this line is 8x plus 5y equals 1. Let's put it here. And for our third graph, let us create a line that passes through 4, 2, and negative 3, positive 1. So the equation of this line is x minus 7y equals negative 10. Let's write it here. Let us also recall the slopes that we got earlier. For this line, we have 7 over 11. For this line, our slope is negative 8 over 5. And for this line, our slope is 1 over 7. Now, I want you to look for a connection between the equation and the rise and run of our slope. Can you see any connection among them? Yes, there is. Negative 7 here, which is the coefficient of x, is somewhat related to our rise. While 11 here, which is the coefficient of y, is related to our run. In this one, our rise is 8 and the coefficient of x is also 8. Our run is negative 5 and the coefficient of y here is 5. For the last one, rise here is 1 and that is actually the coefficient of our x here, the invisible one. While the coefficient of y is negative 7 is somewhat related to our run, which is 7. Actually, the slope, when you are given an equation, can be determined using the formula m is equal to negative of a over b. Who is a and b? A is the numerical coefficient of x, while b is the numerical coefficient of y. So all we have to do is to get the negative of our a, and let's divide it by our b. So let's do that. Our a here is negative 7. So the negative of a would be the negative of negative 7. While our b is positive 11, so we simply have 11 in the denominator. Negative negative will become positive, so this will be 7 over 11. Same answer that we have here. Now in here, again the formula is slope equals negative a over b. Our a this time is 8, and the negative of 8 is negative 8. Our b is positive 5, so we have 5 for the denominator. Negative over positive is negative, so we have negative 8 over 5. Same answer. For the last one, again, the formula is m equals negative a over b. The coefficient of x here is the invisible 1, so we have negative of 1. And our b is negative 7. Don't forget to include the sign, negative 7. Negative divided by negative is positive, so this will be 1 over 7. Same answer. Let us do extra challenge. To avoid confusion, I advise that you convert first the equation into a standard form, and that is in the form ax plus by equals c, where a is the numerical coefficient of x, b is the numerical coefficient of y. And as a rule of thumb in mathematics, the first term should be positive. So let's start with the first one. This is already in the form ax plus by equals c. Our a is already positive, so let's just copy this. And then from here, let us determine our a, and that is 3. Our b is negative 2. Now, our slope would be the negative of 3 divided by negative 2. Negative over negative is positive, so our slope is 3 over 2. Number 2, our x is already positive, so let us just move 10y on this side. It will become minus 10y equals 16. Our a is positive 10. Our b is negative 10. For the slope, we have negative of 10 over negative of 10. Negative divided by negative is positive, and 10 over 10 is 1. So we have slope is equal to 1, or 1 over 1 if you want. Number 3, our x is negative, so we have to move that on the other side. Together with negative 6y on the other side, this will become 18x plus 6y equals 9. Our a is the numerical coefficient of x, that is 18. Our b is numerical coefficient of y, that is positive 6. For the slope, that would be negative of a, so negative 18 over 6. Negative 18 over 6 is negative 3, or negative 3 over 1 if you want for rise over run. Next one, number 4. Our x is negative, so let us move this on the other side to make it positive. So we have 7x minus 5y is equal to 0. Our a is 7. Our b, don't forget the sign, negative 5. So for the slope, that would be the negative of 7 over negative 5. Negative over negative is positive, so our slope is 7 over 5. And last one, our x here is already positive, so we just have to interchange their position. So this will be x plus 7y is equal to 13. A is equal to invisible 1, b is equal to 7, and for the slope, that would be negative of 1 over 7. Negative over positive is negative, so we have negative 1 over 7. For the summary, here are the things that we learned in this lesson. Take time to understand this. Now, it is time to check your understanding. Pause this video for more time. Let us answer for letter A. Our rise is 1, 2, 3. Our run is also 1, 2, 3. 3 over 3 is 1, so the slope is equal to 1. For letter B, you may use y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, or y sub 1 minus y sub 2 all over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. And you will arrive with the slope equals negative 17 over 9. And for letter C, our A is 13, our B is 11. So our slope is negative 13 over 11. Gets? Here are some problems for you to work on to master this lesson. Watch out for my next video lesson where I reveal the answers. Our next lesson is converting standard form to slope-intercept form and vice versa.